What's good, folks? Welcome back to day 2 of my vlog feast, where I'll be uploading a video every day until Thanksgiving. Now, if you came here hungry, then you came to the right place. Yesterday we got warmed up, but today we stepping into it, so let's get it. Okay, so you guys can see, look at these right here. It's a lot of science to go into this, so you guys gotta trust me. Don't forget the full ingredient list, including the printable recipe, is on my website. That's smokinandgrillin.com, and that's WITAB.com. All right, so even after seeing these ingredients, right, it's not a lot to it. So if I remove both of these chickens, because I'm gonna be doing 2, but if I remove these, you guys see this, right? Now, when I say it's got a lot to do with like science, it does. If you guys go to my website and I'll write it down and have it all of the explanations, but listen, it's really done with the salt. It's the brining process, how the salt goes in, then they push this out, then it rehydrates it. It keeps it super juicy. So check this out. Now, listen, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna be talking throughout this process right here, but just to give it to you, in a nutshell, if you wanna know what brine really means, look, I'm gonna say it like this, almost like I'm trying to put it in layman terms. Listen, it makes it, juicier, tastier, and it'll be more forgiving to cook, right? And don't let, for the lack of me making it complicated, with my explanation, do it. After you do this, you guys can look at any of the other brines that I've made in the past. Everybody says they probably want to brine from here on out. That's the right way to do, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm getting ready to bring my fire underneath. I just added 8 cups of water to this also. You know what I mean? And then I got it. Listen, I'm using water. We don't want to use no stock or nothing like that. Right now, we just gonna do this and we're gonna infuse it with, peppercorns, lemon. I got some herbs, we got garlic, we got bay leaf. Just trust me, folks, this right here is the way you wanna go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just try to explain this just a little bit easier, right? Let's talk about the salt. What that does is it diffuses deep into the meat so that the chicken is evenly seasoned. So it's not just seasoned on the surface, it's done in the inside also. The salt also loosens some of the muscles and the proteins, like I think it's called myosin, which lets the meat bind and retain, and holds more water as it cooks. Translation, check this out. It's a juicier chicken, even if you go a few minutes past perfect. That's the whole thing, folks. So the meat eats tender and not stringy. Don't forget, this still chicken, right? That's why we went above and beyond. And then, you know what? Last but not least, when you baking it, listen, it comes with like a better browning, right? If the sugar is added. Now, you see I'm using honey, right? A little sugar in a wet brine helps the browning and the balance. All right, so now we got our water up to a boil, right? So look, I'm gonna get a 1/3 cup of this kosher salt. I'm gonna put this over here on the top. We just work like this. If a little bit goes over the side, it's okay. Now, some of y'all right now, and I got it, the number one question you're gonna ask is, man, you're gonna say it's a lot of salt, first off. Then you're gonna ask, that's not gonna raise my blood sugar? Excuse me. You guys gonna say, that's not gonna raise my blood pressure? No, it's not. So I'm just gonna move this around just so that I can get it to, dissolve in this hot water, right? Now, everything else here is really like a dump and go. Look, I got peppercorns. We put that in there, right? Let me go ahead and cut this lemon. We just give it a little squeeze, drop that in there, right? We got bay leaves, we got herbs. Doesn't make a difference. Just drop your herbs in there. I used to tie them and do all of that. You don't need it. I pulled out my garlic press because that's what I'm used to doing, but we're gonna press it a different way. We're gonna take the garlic and just smash it like that and drop it in. Right? Do this with all of them. You want to peel them, you can peel them. You can do that. I promise you, you can just put them in here just like this. I'm going to just do this one just for the sake of those who want to see it, done. We could just peel it like that. And then we drop it. These other ones, I'm not, since they're kind of like open and easy to grab, I will. But I normally don't do it. All right, so now we'll add, so when I say the sugar, we add that. Then I want you guys to notice how easy this came out. Right, let me go in here and get that last little bit. If you spray this with a non-cooking spray, you can go ahead and, your honey just comes out so much easier. All right, so we still got everything set up for a boil. And this is the flavor profile that we're using, right? But it's the salt that really does the work. The rest of it will be by just adding some of these aromatics in here. This is what get deep inside of the, the tissue of the chicken. More than likely, when you go to like a high-end or one of them flossy like food trucks and you say, ooh, that chicken is so juicy and all of that, they probably doing some type of marinade and they probably brining. You know what I mean? Me, I like brining and. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and drop my bay leaves in. Now, you know bay leaves, they rehydrate. I think I should say it. What's the reason why we boiling? You know what? Because we got lemon in here, we got aromatics. Look, they're starting to soften up. What it does is when you boil it, it releases its flavor inside of the water, right? And that's where we're gonna get that flavor from. This is what we call the profile. This profile, I haven't gave it a name yet, but I'm going to. You know what I mean? And this will be this way. You guys can use your own mind and do whatever. You can substitute the lemon. You can do orange. You can do lime if that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Just use your brain, figure out what kind of taste you want to have and how unique you want it to be, and then you put it in here. Now, I'm going to let this boil for probably about 15 minutes, and then when I come back, I'll finish show you another trick. All right, so look, this has been boiling for about 20 minutes, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. Just give it, what I do, anytime I'm stirring it like this, I'm running everything, you know, like my spatula on the bottom, just making sure everything has been dissolved, which I can tell you 20 minutes under the boiling water, it is. Now, I'm finna grab something. I'm gonna step off camera for 1 second. This bag contains ice. Here's the thing. We took the time to get your aromatics to get into this brine. You got this, it's a salty solution. Everything here is right. Now, let me grab this, because I should have showed you guys this from the beginning. You see this right here? This is where we're gonna brine it in. You gotta get yourself some type of food grade, you know, bucket, something big enough that you can put a chicken in, you know, that has a lid. This is gonna be key. Some of you guys know, it's about a million of y'all know, because, you know, I brine my turkeys also. So I'm gonna grab this here, and I want you guys to catch a visual with me. We gonna pour this into that, right? Imagine if that was hot and we put a chicken inside of this. This hot water will start to cook our chicken. That's not what we want. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have water. Oh, you know what, here? Let's not just over talk it and talk about it. Why don't we just go ahead and add this to it? What I'm doing is I'm just cooling it off, folks. I'm getting it ready to be able to put inside of my bucket. Let me know down in that comment section below. Are you guys following? Does it make sense? Have you ever brined? Talk to me. Let me know if you have. What was the outcome? Share it with everybody. Now, look, let's just go over this part about how to clean the chicken, right? I got a sink full of, you know, water. I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a cap full of this white vinegar. You know what I mean? Distilled white vinegar, you guys. That's what I use. I rub my hand on it, then I use lemon. You know what I mean? I like to just put a little of this, little fresh lemon juice in here. And then if you want to, you guys can just like run this over here. I know this is like a major debate from a lot of people. You guys let me know what you guys do. It's a little vinegar bath does it. You know what I mean? I just rub this over here like this and boom. You can start filling the chicken. Even though I got this glove on, they got that when I pull it right there, because you know why? It's super clean. They get all of that little slick, everything that make a chicken ugly, it just gets it off, right? I'm gonna let this soak in here for about 5 or 6 more minutes. I can see that my brine is ready. I'm gonna rinse that, and then we gonna finish this up. All right, so I do rinse it, rinse my yard bird, right? You could trim some of this up, but I'll get to all that later, right? I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna just drop it in. It doesn't make a difference how you put it in there, whether it's legs first or wings first, right? We just wanna get this in here like that. If you come over here, let's take a look at my brine. Let me get some more gloves. Look at my brine. You see how it still has ice in it? What that tell you, folks? That should tell you that it's nice and cool. Still got some cubes in there. I don't have to worry about it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and pour that in the inside right there. Now, we just pour. What I do is, I wanna make sure I got enough. Sometimes, like if I have something that's heavy, I like to just put that on top, you know what I mean? But my main thing is, and be careful, if you got a pot that got like a little pour spout on it, that'll be great, you know what I mean? But we're just gonna put the top on here like this. Let me get this cleaned up. You can see where I made like a little bit of a mess. Now, I'll just go ahead and wrap this part up right now. What I do is I put this like somewhere, like I'm fortunate enough, I got a pantry, right? So I stick it in the pantry, close the door, keep it nice and, cold, and dark, right? And I put that in there and I like to go, I'm gonna say this, 6 hours at the very minimum, overnight best practices, you know what I mean? So if you want the maximum amount and the maximum effect of, brining, just an overnight would like get you where you wanna be. After I wipe all this up, like I said, into the pantry, put it off to the side, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow, because you know what we're doing? I'm finna show you guys how to turn this into something magical for Thanksgiving. All right, folks, look, I want to bring you up to speed. This is what I did. I said I was gonna brine the chicken for about, 4 hours. Then I said I was gonna do 6. And, just time got away from me. I decided to let it do it overnight, right? So we didn't brine overnight. So what we did was we took this bird in a salty, slightly sweet bath with garlic, herbs, and a little citrus. So this chicken is really seasoned inside and out, not just on the top. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and open this up. Completely submerged, right? You know, I know that we got brine in the inside. Let me go ahead and make myself a little room. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour all of this out of here. Then we're gonna rinse the bird. That's gonna be key. Because you know what, I get people to say that, and I apologize to you guys. You know, like when I'm making it, I just assume everybody know, exactly what I know. But I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to teach you guys the right way and get ahead of some of these questions so it'll be as easy as possible. Right? Man, this smells good. I'm telling you right now, you gonna know you gonna like it, because listen, your brine, even with the raw chicken that was in there, I can't say enough about it. It's fire, right? So now we'll take this cold water, folks, and we're gonna rinse it. One of the things you might say, I'll do a little trimming. You see this little piece right here? We'll get all that off. You know what I mean? To trim it up, get it to look nice. You know, since we're putting this out on the table, this is gonna be like our centerpiece. And I say it like that, I know we doing turkey too, but the chicken, still commands to be a star. And no, I'm not washing off none of the brine, because the brine, if we done it correctly, it's in the meat. Okay, so what has changed since the last time you saw it? I put the bird down here. I haven't, finished patting it dry. But everything you see over here on this cutting board, this is what we're going to use for our little compound butter, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and to continue to pat this dry. I know it sounds crazy because we just made it super moist, right? And then I look at the bird, and again, we want to keep up with the thinking that, don't forget, this is going to be one of our centerpieces. I should have said that, because I'm not sure what everybody puts on their Thanksgiving table. But for me, it's the chicken, it's the turkey, and then if you guys really know me, we got to have that ham. And that's that honey glaze, that is. Now, the next thing is, I'm going to leave this and let this sit up, right? I'm going to give you guys all of the, tips and tricks, for like browning. You got to get yourself, a bowl, right? And I think I'm going to go with just adding my Dijon mustard to this right now. Now, let's talk about profiles. I'm using Dijon mustard. I suggest you guys do the same. I usually don't tell nobody to do nothing out, do their own thing. But you know what? I'm using a lemon, right? We could have did orange to give it like a little bit of a different profile, but I'm gonna set this over here. And now we're gonna go here with my parsley. And then what we wanna do is we just wanna chop this up nice. Let's go ahead and get that going. Nice and small. You guys can just see, we got thyme, parsley, rosemary. We're gonna use a little lemon juice, just a little, very little. Right, but then we're gonna hit it with that zest. And then, you can't do nothing like this without having no garlic. All right, so now I think I'm gonna add, I'll just put it here, I'll just clean my counter. But I'll bring this over here. Now that right there is my Dijon. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the butter, right? It's already softened. This is room temperature, just to get it nice and soft, to get it more pliable, that's all. I do have a whip that I'm gonna end up using at the end, but right now we'll do that. And now I'm gonna add my herbs to it. Now, I always save a little bit of my herbs, because I like to sprinkle some on the top after I get it all buttery and, hooked up. Meanwhile, that we getting our oven up to temp. We going to 350, right? So we just work this in. The main thing is, you can see your herbs inside the butter because of the color, right? But I'm gonna say the main thing is you wanna make sure that you got that mustard in here mixed throughout. But you see that right there? We good. I'm gonna set that over here, get my press. Now we're finna add, some minced garlic to it. Now this is a big wide one. All right, so now we got our butter. There's a couple of ways we can do this, right? There's no way you're gonna get around this. If you're using your hands, obviously I got, gloves on, right? So remember we said we're gonna pat it dry? This is why, because you wanna go ahead and get some of this butter on here. Now I'll go ahead and massage this butter on here. If it's not as dry as you would like, you'll find out you're gonna be rubbing on this bird, for a minute. I don't know if I should pause right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pause for a minute. We just put it on like this. This is gonna also help it get a little bit crispy. It's really gonna help with that color. Then you gotta watch all of these little high points like this. These right here have a tendency to burn. When you making, this for Thanksgiving, that means you in your kitchen making other sides and all of that. Chicken should really be made. If you ask me, I would say the chicken should be done the same day. It only takes about maybe a little bit over an hour at 350 degrees. But if you in the kitchen, you watching it, if it look like it's burning, I'm gonna show you all the tricks. I almost just told you. I'm gonna take it now anyway. What we do is we just put a little tent made out of foil over the top to control the browning. I know some of y'all couldn't wait to say, okay, AB, that's cool. I do mine like that too. You know what I mean? But you want to tell me that you take it and you take a little bit of this and then you run your finger right up underneath the skin over here like this. You see how I separate that skin? I know you guys are doing that already, right? This right here is cool too, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If you brine, this is gonna be immaculate. Tastes great. Once the meat redistributes the juices inside of here, oh my God. You guys weren't able to see how I push it on this side. I'm gonna do a little bit on that side so you can see. Check this out. Now, this is what I'm gonna be, putting it in the oven in, right? So I take a little bit of that butter, you know what I mean? Look at this. We just put some of this down. I don't wanna spray no other type of like non-stick spray or nothing like that. I'm about to teach y'all this part too. Just my drippings along with, my chicken stock that I'm gonna put in here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab this. Let's go ahead and lay him or her. There it is right there. We're gonna level this up. Since we're gonna put this in there and put that heat on it, it's gonna render a lot of drippings. Let me get my gloves cleaned up. Let me get everything going. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring these potatoes into the game. Okay, this is what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna go ahead and cut I don't know about y'all, but I gotta cut this little piece off. It just looked way out to me on the lemon. Because what we're gonna do is when we put this in the oven, we want the aromatics from the orange and then some of these herbs. I got some tied up right here. Let me unloosen these and let me get some more to put in the side. Gotta leave a little room, for my herbs. Okay, two things. I'm gonna address this part. First, I kept calling this an orange. It's not an orange, it's a lemon. You guys can use orange, but I'm using lemon this time. And I said I was gonna take this loose, but no, I'm not. I'm gonna just stick this in here just like that. Stick this in here on this side like that. That last little giant wedge in here, just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get me a little olive oil. Just add a little bit here on the back. And then I go over this just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's all we need. Now, let me clean these up. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut down our potatoes. Now we're gonna get to these potatoes. Now, here's the thing. We gotta time this to be ready. Right? This is gonna take about 1 hour and 5 minutes to 1 hour and 15 minutes to be done, right? So I'm gonna cut this in a quarter just to look at these right now, just to see where we at. I think this is a good size. And then we'll just put these in here like this. You know what, so let's go ahead and quarter them. But the objective is for everything to be ready at the same time. Okay, so now I take my garlic cloves, smash them. You guys all know, just on the other side, get your knife down flat. Get them. We just put a couple of pieces inside of here. Come on, man. We just go the extra mile when it comes to, the holiday, right? Now, I'm gonna take my extra virgin olive oil, and this right here is garlic infused. And we just gonna add a little bit over these quartered potatoes, right? Gotta make sure I'm saying it right. Now we finna level up. Now this right here is that branch and vine. You know what I mean? This that bacon sea salt. This is what I'm gonna put over here on top of this. Ooh, yeah, we pulling out all stops. It's got like a hickory like scent to it. I'll leave a link, you know what I mean? You guys check it out. Ooh, man, we getting ready to come with my fresh black crack, right? We just add that right here over the top. My oven is already up to temp. Yes, sir. You want to put a little onion in here? You can do that too. But this is where we're gonna do this one right here. Let me take a picture of this bird and then the oven it go. At 350, we're gonna go for at least a minimum of 1 hour. So look, just so that I said it, and I want you guys to see it also, we put it in here. I haven't put no tent. I'm not protecting the wings or nothing, right? None of the wing tips. We put it in, close it up, and we set a timer for 1 hour. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna set one for 30 minutes because we wanna keep our eye on it just to make sure it's not browning, uncontrollably. Okay, so let's take a look at it right now. Look, my timer just went off and it's an hour, right? I got a toothpick. All right, so let's go ahead and check these before I check anything else. My potatoes, they're a little bit on the big side. They can use a little bit more time. And I got a little bit of a trick for you. Let me pull this out. I hate keep pulling this out. You letting all your heat out and all of that. But you see how it's starting to, I accidentally split it when I was putting the butter under there, just checking there. Oh, they almost ready. If I bring the camera around here, look, it gets a little dark right here. What I'm gonna do is I got a piece of foil and we're gonna add this over the top. Now, everybody knows, and if you didn't know, I'm gonna tell you right now, when the chicken breast is at 165, it's time to take it out, right? But we wanna go ahead and get it that way. And the only way we're gonna know where we at is, let me get my thermometer. I can tell when it goes in, not quite, but right now we're at, look, 136. We got a little ways to go. I at least wanted to pick up another, I'm gonna say another 30 degrees. But because we brine this, don't forget, it's gonna be very forgiving, right? So we just add this like that. I'm gonna push this back in here. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna set a timer for another 30 minutes. And then when I take it out of here, it's gonna be like magic, folks. Now look, I got a little bit of a heads up. Now you guys, if you've been with me, you know when we started this vlog feast, right? We started out making chicken stock. Now we got a little bit of chicken stock right here. Now this is that good stuff, not the store-bought, right? So check this out. I'm gonna add some of this to it, and I'm gonna actually pour this over the top. It's almost like we're gonna do like a little bit of a base. But this will mix with everything else that's inside of here, right? It's okay if it gets all over the potatoes and all of that, but don't trip. That's gonna help me with my gravy, right? So it just adds more flavor to it. Let's push this back in here like this. Let's cover it up. Put that tent on there. And I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. Okay, so my timer just went off. I don't need to take a look. I did go ahead and pull those off. You know what I mean? Let them just cook a little bit more. But you see how we got a little brown detail? I would like to get a little bit more brown in here, but I don't want to overcook my breast, right? I told you it's real forgiving though, because we brined it. Now I'm gonna let this stay in there for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna check my temp, and then we're gonna take this out. We didn't have time for it to relax. You know what I mean? It has rested. We brined, we put it in the oven. We got it all nice and roasted. I sure hate that it kind of like tore right here, but that's me being heavy-handed, right? So I got my knife. This is gonna be my slicer. All you guys are gonna see this for a minute. When I talk about tender, look at that right there. I'm just going in here. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and make a cut, right? We just wanna cut it. Okay, folks, look, now check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab this like this. You wanna know, is it moist? You can see it's moist right there. I can just see it. This is what brining do. And don't forget, I didn't do anything but cut the white meat, right? So this is breast, and when your breast pull like this and it come loose, talk to me, folks. If you have never ever brined, look at this. Look, we just put it like this. If you never brined before, I'm just gonna say hello and welcome to the club. Guess what, folks? Cheers. Hold on. This right here is fire, folks. I'm, just keeping it 100 with you. You know what I mean? It's really, this wasn't really about, I guess it really wasn't about like, how to cook it, even though I threw that in there and that's the way I cook mine, but it's really about brining. If you guys don't know, you got to take the time to try it. And listen, I'm doing this series. You all know that, right? It started yesterday. You know what I mean? It's called AB's Vlog Feast, right? I'm going to be posting every day. I know that's gonna be grueling, but I'm gonna try to make everybody's favorite at least 1 or 2 of your dishes, right? And if you're looking for something new, check me out. Look, I'm gonna even do some bacon, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have some sweets also. I just wanna let you know, listen, I'm doing it, it's going down. And if you new, let me just take the time to say, hey, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you wanna know what I'm really gonna do with these slices right here? I'm finna go in my pantry, grab that bread, give me some mayo, and I'm finna do it old school, folks. Let's have some chicken sandwiches. I'm out. Peace. I almost forgot. Check this out. Look down here. You can see it's all gone. What we did was we just broke it down, divided it up into those, here with me, right? You can see this is the one I'm taking home, but I just want to tell you guys this. If you look down here, don't forget all them juices, and we pour some chicken stock in there to go along with everything that sweated out of that. And this right here, I'm gonna strain it back just a little bit to get some of these bigger pieces out of there, get the garlic and a couple other little pieces in here, and we finna make a gravy, folks. Stay with me, AB's Vlog Feast. If you go to my channel, it'll be at the top, right? We're gonna start dropping them like this every day till the end of the month. I'm out. Again, peace.